It has been a positive start for Thomas Tuchel as Chelsea coach. And next up for him is Spurs away. Can you see them posing any problem, Jose Mourinho's side to this Chelsea side, Shaka?
I think this is one Chelsea going to thinking that the 3 points are there for the taking. Given what we've seen from Spurs over recent weeks, I thought the performance against Brighton in particular was disappointing. Listen, I know Spurs are without Harry Kane, but to look as frustrated and devoid of ideas as you did against Brighton, albeit a Brighton team that will play very differently from Chelsea's approach, was a huge disappointment for me and leaves Jose Mourinho scratching his head, wondering how to fix all of this. That being said, Chelsea, and given what we've seen from them under Thomas Tuchel, where they want to possess the ball, that's going to be their foundations. What they do with it at the other end, we wait to see. But you know how Tuchel is going to have them playing. They want to be in possession. They want to wear the opponents down, and they did that to very good effect. That's the kind of opponent that Spurs under Jose Mourinho have fared best against. Teams that possess. They want to sit deep. They want to soak up pressure. They want to hit you on the counter attack. Now, whether Spurs can do that against Chelsea know what they're prepared, what will be prepared for exactly that. I'm not so sure. And as much as Spurs are at home for this one, for me, this is a game Chelsea have to go into, at the very least, them feeling like they're favourites and should take all 3 points.
Who's going to be the goal scorer, the top goal scorer for Chelsea? Who has to start putting those goals away for them?
That is the hugest question for me. And inevitably you look at the centre forwards for that. And Tammy Abraham, who I freely admit I had very high hopes for and liked the look of very early on. But I just don't feel has worked that well. And then Thomas Tuchel, as we've seen elsewhere on the park, go to some of his more experienced players, whether he starts to lean more heavily on Olivier Giroud between now and the end of the season. We'll have to see who is going to be Chelsea's leading scorer under Thomas Tuchel. Right now, I'm just waiting to see how this team shapes up and who kind of takes that responsibility on their shoulders. I'm sorry to be sitting on the fence with you here, Kay, but I'm not sure.
Okay, what about the goal scorers on the other side then? Would it be too strong a point to say that Spurs are pretty much Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are bust?
Yes, no. Well, to your question, no. It's by no way or means too much to say that. And that's what you've seen. In the past, though, when Harry Kane has missed or has been missing, Heung-min Son has stepped up and has been that goal scorer that Spurs needed. He has led from the front. But as I mentioned, or be different opposition to Chelsea, I just feel Son looked a frustrated figure. Spurs looked devoid of ideas, how to break down a team that was sitting as deep as Brighton did and got their goal and then were prepared to defend that. And that for me is a concern. How do you find that space for him and Son to be at his best? Especially without Harry Kane and the opposition having to think about a two-pronged attack. Now all of a sudden you know where that threat is going to come from. And as good as Ndombele has been, as good as Bergwijn has been, I just feel if you silence him and Son, it becomes easier to deal with those other two, with Spurs as a team. And that for me is going to be Jose Mourinho's big challenge in getting Spurs back on track, back winning games, even if they don't ever go back to dominating games.
What's the furthest he can take them then? Do you think we're seeing the best that Jose Mourinho can do with Spurs?
I think so. I just don't think, well, certainly the team as it is now, transfer window now closed, we have between now and the end of the season, I don't think Spurs as it's built right now, and given Jose Mourinho's tactics, how he wants to have them playing, are good enough to finish top four. I think Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool will dominate, will be in the top four for seasons to come. Right now, I think maybe Leicester are the next best team positioned to finish top four, We see how Chelsea shape up under Thomas Tuchel. But unless something changes drastically, not only do Spurs not finish top 4 this season, but I don't see that changing in seasons to come under Jose Mourinho. And that is a big challenge for Spurs. What is their ceiling under Jose Mourinho? Right now, my feeling is top 6, get into the Europa League. I just don't see them being any better than some of those other usual suspects that I just mentioned.
And lastly, do you think Thomas Tuchel is the man to take Chelsea to the next step?
I've been impressed with what I've seen. And listen, I know it's only 2 games, and there are a lot of question marks about the performance against Wolves and the fact that for all their possession, they really didn't threaten Wolves anywhere near as much as you would think. I then think you saw the other side of that, of building on the possession and getting goals and winning games. So it's definitely a work in progress. Very early progress, but you can see what Thomas Tuchel is trying to do. So as of right now, I'll say yes. Thomas Tuchel certainly has had or changing the fortunes of Chelsea. We see how things progress over coming weeks. But early signs are good. Though I will also add that caveat, early signs with a new manager aren't always how things pan out.
Yeah, well, Kane's return is said to be just around the corner now, not in time for this game. But as for Thomas Tuchel, he did say ahead of this game, he's not a big drinker, but if he does win this one, he'll celebrate with a gin and tonic afterwards. So let's see if he's doing that once this game is over.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.